So Alex Cenk is the miserable candidate who lost again in Florida. She had lost to Rick Scott, a person that seemed like you couldn't lose to because his company did the largest Medicare fraud in American history. He was the CEO at the time. She wound up losing to him anyway. Then she lost to a Republican lobbyist in a special election that happened earlier this week. Now, I do have to correct the record on one thing I said. I made a tremendous mistake in trusting a conservative writer online. Who does that? Come on. Of course, he turned out to be wrong. He had said that Alex Cenk outspent the Republican lobbyist 4-1. Now, as usual with the tricks that they play, that is correct, but only if you're looking at just the candidates, not independent expenditures. When you put in independent expenditures, it's a whole different ball game. And of course, rich Republicans and corporations poured in a ton of money in favor of the Republican to even the battleground. Now, turns out that according to the Washington Post, the GOP groups flooded the race with about $5 million. And that'll do a little bit more than just evening things out. In fact, local paper, Tampa Bay Times, had a great story about this before the election to give you a sense of how much money was spent already. They pointed out that in the 33 years before his death, U.S. Representative C.W. Billy Young, whose seat it was before he passed away, spent a total of $6.7 million on his campaigns. 33 years, $6.7 million. The race to succeed him, they point out, has blown past $12 million in 3 months. Money in politics is an absolute tidal wave. Maybe that's why Noah's got to build us an ark now. Okay, to escape from all the lobbyist, corporate money absolutely drowning our election system and our democracy. So, do you know how many commercials aired in just that district for just that one race? Nearly 200 political commercials aired on TV each day. 200 a day! It's amazing! Now, in House races on average, the candidates themselves used to spend 93% of the money in the olden days of 2004. That's not that long ago, right? But back then, the candidates raised the money and spent it. Now, in this Pinellas County race, only 30% of the money that was spent in the race was spent by the candidates, meaning that 70% comes from those independent expenditures, which can now spend unlimited money because of Citizens United. That means people from outside the county, rich donors, in this case, a lot of the money came, of course, as usual, from the Koch brothers on the right-wing side, can come in and say, I would like to purchase that congressman. So even though the actual candidates are spending a whole heap of money, they come in with a much larger amount. They plop it down and go, thank you very much. I'll take that congressman and he'll now work for me. In the Citizens United case, Justice Kennedy talked about how not only is there not corruption if you can spend unlimited money on these elections, there won't even be the appearance of corruption. Does it appear like there might be corruption? You think that now Congressman Jolly doesn't owe his job to those guys who's put in minimum of $5 million, at least on his side, just in independent expenditures? Of course he owes them the race. He wouldn't have won without them. Now, outside spending in 2008 before Citizens United was already totally out of control. It was $300 million in that election cycle. In 2012, it was $1 billion. Wait till you get a load of 2014 and 2016. It's only getting worse and worse. There's only one answer to this. Get the money out of politics. Otherwise, they're going to buy every single congressman, senator, and politician in the country. wolf-pac.com. If you're not part of that solution, you're just waiting for our democracy to get strangled entirely. It's already dead at the national level. They've already bought almost all of Congress. On the state level, they haven't gotten to all the representatives and senators yet. So we got to go get those guys and get them to fix this system by calling for a convention to get an amendment to get money out of politics. Otherwise, we're all screwed.